Hey everybody, excuse me. I'm gonna show you a little progress I made on the ship. I have the bulkheads glued down to the false keel. I started making the lower decks. I made this little stand here, put a couple pieces of pine down to hold the keel in place. Nice to have it upright like that. Plus it had a little twist in it, so I made that straight and it brought it back into square. I've started making the lower decks, which is, where are we at? Number 2. So you got 22, 23, 24, and 25. The lower decks, how I did that was, I took my planking. There's one right here that I'm not quite finished with yet. I still got to sand it. Took my planks, put some pencil, ran it down through the edges, and glued them on. I got to cut off the edges on this piece, give it another sanding, and I believe that part goes right here. So we're right about here is where we're at. Got to put 28s in, therefore the mass. 28s here, 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 and right now I've cut out some long planks for the gun deck, which will sit right down into there. So I didn't have to make these to scale because the holes, that's all you're going to see is what's inside of these holes right here. But to scale, these are roughly 48 millimeters. And what I'll do is I will glue how they did theirs. If you can see it, put it out here. How they did theirs, they glued the long planks on and then they drew the lines. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, I could have cut all these to 48s and laid them all in. I established my center line, and then I'll just work off of the center line. So I cut to length a bunch of these planks, and I have put my pencil mark, or the lead, and ran it across the top of it right through here. And I've got maybe 15, 20 of them done. I'll do the rest of those, and then we'll start gluing them on. But what I wanted to show you too, if you're doing the ship, or they've got you, and I've been reading through this instruction manual, got you on number 11, basically installing the main deck before you plank it. So now you've covered up your cannon deck, and then they got you planking. There's your main deck on top. They literally have you completing the entire ship as far as the planks, the decks, installing everything. And then they want, so basically you got a completed ship, completed hull, I guess. And then they want you to start cutting out. Even here it's completed. You're putting your side rails on. And then, where's it at? They want you to start cutting out your cannon ports. Well, you tell me how you're going to get a cannon. They got you cutting them out here on 55. You can see it, but right here at 55, they got you cutting out the cannon ports. How are you supposed to get a cannon in there? Once you put the main deck on, that hole isn't big enough to slide your cannon in. I don't believe. I can check it, though. So we're going to have to figure out a way to not install the main deck, drop our cannons in, then put our main deck on top. I don't know how you get a cannon in there. It doesn't tell you. So, I don't know if that was a mistake they made when they were doing this or what, but I found a couple of them, really. Like right here's another one. You can see, so you get 2, 3, 4, 5, which is, I don't have these up in the front glued yet, but all the main ones are glued. But if you look at this one, it's cut all the way out. It's not cut out on here. Plus, you got one back here, 16, which is right here, that's not cut out. It's the right height and it's the right contour, but I don't know why that's gapped like that. Another problem is this one, number 12. Number 12, they got it notched out, but it's too low. See how low it is? And 12 right here is way up to the top, so I got to put a piece and level that off from here to here to make it flush with the top of that. Will it matter? I don't know, but it gives me more gluing surface to put a deck on. So now I'm right here. All right, so like I said, I've cut my planks out, a few of them to length, putting the lead on the edges, and I'll start gluing them on. But that's where we're at. So just wanted to, oh, another thing too, online I found these little hull clamps. When you're planking the hull, I printed some on my 3D printer. I got the video, I'll post it, and I'll post a link. We'll try these. You're supposed to put the width of this hull, get a piece of it, put it in the back, and how it works is you clamp your plank on, push it up in, clamp it down, and it holds it while the glue's drying. So I printed 3 of them. It's a 4mm nut and a bolt to go into it. There's the nut, the bolt runs through, and I just attached it with a little epoxy on there. I've seen people use them, so I thought I'd give them a try. I've only printed 3 of them. It takes an hour and 30 minutes to print all 4 of the parts. Let's see what you got for parts here. I'll show you. Got your bolt through your handle. You got your spacer that slides across, and you got your 2 clamping pieces. So it took an hour and 30 minutes for me to print that. I don't have the best print in the world, but it works. It did a pretty nice job on it. So I got 3 of them. Maybe I'll do 2 or 3 more. And just to see, I'll put a link in the description where this guy has them listed, so you can download them if you got a 3D printer and try them out for yourself if you want to. All right, so I'm going to get back to work by finishing up, starting to glue, finishing up, putting my ink or the lead on the edges of my planks. I'm going to start gluing them on here, and hopefully by the end of the day I can have this planked and set into place, and maybe if I have enough time we can start putting our side rails on here. But then I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do about these cannon situations. I just don't know how you're supposed to put a cannon down there if you do the whole and put the main deck on right here. And they don't have you campering the edges until you do get the main deck to give you some idea where you got to go. You can see it on this one here. A lot of times you would have already sanded the edges down, so when your planks go across it, they lay flush against the whole bulkhead. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually sitting in my living room. Got a little 3/4 inch piece of plywood sitting up on a little tote, watching TV, just enjoying my Saturday. Upstate New York, it's freezing outside right today. Yesterday it was 65 degrees. Today it's 28. So I'm not out in my shop. I'm in my living room doing this. But let me get back to work. I'll make a couple videos and post them. Get back to work on the gun deck. And I believe it's the gun deck. I'm sure it is. One of the lower decks, we'll call it. But we get back to work. And we'll see you in a little bit once I get this done. All right, so here's the next project. I've got this planked, this lower deck right here, which is 29, which is, there's 29, is that 20? Nope, where's 29? 29. Can't get it in the frame. So we're doing this piece across here. You can see there's gun ports, so lower gun deck, I guess. Okay, so I've planked it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a measurement from this line here to this line here, and I think it was 48 millimeters. Then I'll take here to here 7, so I can establish my straight line like they did. I will then take my knife and just scribe, not cut through, but I'll scribe each one of those, and then I'll put my pencil line through it. Then maybe I'll get a little tack or something and put a couple small holes either to the left or the right of that line to give the look that it's been nailed down. We'll see about that. But I just wanted to show you what the next process was here. So to make this to scale, to make them look like planks that you would actually have on a ship this size. Like I said, I mic'd that out. I think it was 48 millimeters, but I'll double check it to make sure. Okay, so that's the next step. Put my lines in. So let's see how that goes. Hey everyone, I'm going to start this week's video out with a little show and tell, some stuff I got today, plus an explanation of a mistake I made in the first video. If you remember back in the first video, I was talking about how they have you put the main, let me zoom in, see if I can get in a little farther there, how you have they have you installing the main deck, and then basically finishing the ship off, planking it, and before you cut your ports for your cannons. But as I started reading the instructions, it got so important to read these instructions over and over again. 14, number 36, 36, 36, which is nothing but about a 1/4-inch piece of board they left in the box for you. So there's 4 and there's 3. Those will be the mounts for the cannons. All right, so you mount them up to the top deck, it looks like, and then across the bulkheads. And your cannon, here I have one here, actually has a little pin in the back of it. Oops. Back here. Has a little pin in the back of it. And obviously the hole goes in, and then you plank the deck, cut them open to where you've drilled your hole, and then insert it. I think it sits 9 millimeters out away from the deck. I'll have to reread that. But that, of course, is the way they got around having you put the top deck on before you did anything with the lower deck's gun ports. So that's good. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cut out the, how many, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them, and get those mounted up in. Or get them cut. I don't know if I'm going to get them out. I don't have my top deck on yet. But I'll get to the ship in a second. And we'll see where we're at here. I think we're right about here at this stage. I've got the top deck. Well, we'll get to the ship when I get back. But another thing, there's another ship I'm building, or was building. Let me zoom back out. It's Heller's 1/100 scale HMS Victor. It's a nice little plastic ship. It really is pretty nice. But I like to do the wooden ones. But I got this one again on eBay or eBay Facebook garage sale. It was so cheap. I think I paid 40 bucks for it, 30, 40 bucks. All right, well, this is what I wanted to show you. I got another set of glasses today. And it came from China, of course, which if I'd have known, I don't know if I'd have got them, but it's so hard to tell anymore. Well, there goes the Canon. Look at these bad boys. So I got the glasses, magnifying glasses, with a LED light and 5 lenses. And so hands-free, I've got magnifying glasses, but kind of neat. I just wanted to show it to you. I think I paid 45 bucks for all of it, plus shipping. I got a little strap here if you want to use the strap. Nice little box. I think the actual case was separate though. But I'll put them on. I'll show them to you when we get back to the ship here. Let's get back there and see what's going on with that. But I just wanted to explain that I had figured out that the company that designed the ship was not in air, which isn't uncommon for them to make mistakes, to be honest with you. They've made mistakes on numbering a lot of it. And like I showed you with some of the bulkheads were wrong. But they still worked. They were still the right contour. But yeah, that was my fault. I should have just read on a little bit farther and I would have seen that. So in the first video, just disregard that whole section about how I was going to have to figure out a way to do the, put the top deck on and fill out the, put the cannons in. All right, let's get back to the ship here.